What's good, you guys? In this video, I wanted to talk about why I trade options in addition to stocks, and why I started to day trade options. Even though I've been in Tim Sykes' Millionaire Challenge since May of 2020, and Tim doesn't trade options at all; he trades stocks. So basically, at this point, options have become such a big part of my profits. Since I started trading options in September, they've ended up becoming over a third of my overall profits. They're just so helpful with growing a small account, and the reason they are is because they allow you to partake in higher price stocks without draining away your capital. I guess another good benefit is options is because they have an expiry date, it kind of prevents you from bag holding. And for me, like, I've been a notorious bag holder since like August, September, where it's like the more my account grows, the more likely I am to throw like 500, 1,000 here and there to a bag hold and hold that for a couple months, sometimes even 4 or 5 months, and that's both on the long and the short side when it doesn't go against me. So with options, when they expire, it's like you either take the L when they expire, or you swallow your pride and you sell that contract for a loss. And then just another big thing with options is just they're so volatile that they could move like 30 to 40 cents within seconds, and depends for higher price options, like options over $10, within seconds you could see like dollar jumps to the upside and to the downside. Like, even just check out the options chains for Tesla, for example, and how crazy that is during the market open. Like, one day, just set some time aside, look at Tesla during the market open, look at the options, and see what happens with the prices when it dips down or when it spikes up. And with options, I primarily was trading with the QQQ. And how I was trading options is that I first got into options because I was kind of nervous to take them at first. I just didn't really I knew what options were, but I didn't understand how to implement them in day trading. Like, it seemed too complex, and I'm like, I'm still struggling to be consistently profitable trading stocks. So how the hell am I going to trade options? And then and being in Tim Sykes' program, I saw Mark Crook being so successful with options that I ended up enrolling in his Evolve Trader program. And the thing about the way he trades options is that he is more of a swing trader for options, and more of a looking for the big picture setups where you might get something breaking to the downside, or like a very pivotal breakout to the upside based on support levels forming on the chart, and a long enough time frame for a support or resistance level to form where the move is going to be very consequential to what's going on with the stock. So, like, for example, let's say Tesla has been just setting up for a while, consolidating in this range, holding a tight range. You see it building pressure in this range, So eventually, when it goes to the upside, it's really going to pop. You're really going to get a lot of momentum. And he kind of looks for those moves to capitalize on, versus day trading, where you're looking for intraday moves, and you're not always necessarily, like, you will look at the big picture when you're taking, for example, higher day breakouts, but for things like dip buys, you're kind of just following intraday movement, and you're kind of just following the stock as it goes, versus like the breakout where you have to wait for a certain moment to initiate your first entry into trade and build into that position. So when I took Mark's program, that's when I started to dabble in options, and I kind of started seeing how it works, and I got more comfortable trading options, buying them, selling them, just seeing how they look in Interactive Brokers Trader Workstation. So once I got more comfortable, I kind of stepped outside of the framework of Mark's Evolve Trader program, and I'm like, look, like, because earlier in the year, before I started Tim Sykes' program, I spent a little bit of time dip buying large cap stocks. I dip buy Boeing, BA. I dip buy that every couple days. I'd play around with Tesla. So I kind of had seen the pattern, like, after the market kind of just got so crazy in 2020, a lot of large caps were giving penny stock type of volatility and price action. So the same like classic dip buys I see with penny stocks, I see with like the NASDAQ, Tesla, those two primarily, and even other names like Zoom, NIO when it was smaller, and even as it went bigger. So eventually and I also saw people in the Tim Sykes chat, other traders who were every day banking off the dips, just the same thing. Dip bought Tesla, made 500 here, 300-400, sometimes up to $1,000, like consistently every day. And I'm like, damn, I want to do that. Like, I started focusing on it. I started tracking large caps, primarily the Nasdaq, and I started to dip buy options, and that's how I really grew my account. Like after I had reset, to try to find profitability, and I was slowly going from like 500 net profits a month to 1,000, a couple thousand. The biggest jump when I went from 6,000 to 5 figures in a month was due to taking options and pretty much dip buying options every day and capitalizing on that volatility. And now it's like to the point where it's like I mainly do call options on dip buys, but I'm also playing with puts on overextended stocks and getting better on that side as well. It's just, I love options because they're so volatile that you could really make 200-300 off scalping, and I'm very comfortable with scalping versus holding for a big picture. Although with options, I've also found that I've also been, just from playing them so often, I've also gotten so more comfortable with holding them longer, just sizing down based on the play and following the chart. And I'm going to continue to play options, continue to use options in my trading. I don't make it complicated. It's because like I don't look at like, the beta, the theta values. I don't, I think, capitalize off the spread the way I see some options traders do. I think where you're making money off the spread or something. I don't even really understand it, to be honest. And I never short options. I just buy calls and puts. And I never really take big size as well yet because to be honest, I'm not that confident. I'm not that confident in my ability yet to do that. I've been burned a lot as well playing options. That's the thing. There's also, when you have all that volatility, it's very easy to see your gains get wiped away. I've had that. I've had months where it's like I was holding options. I was stubborn to cut the losses, and at the end of the month they expired, and I took like a $500-600 loss, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when I was only making like 3 or 4K a month, 500-600 is like 15 to it's almost 20, pretty much 20%. So I'd recommend that you actually consider options if you have a small account and you're trying to grow it, because it gives you the ability to look at higher price stocks. Like, for example, check out NIO, BLNK, even JMIA. GME, obviously everyone knows GME, but GME has some crazy shit going on with options. I made a good chunk of my GME profits trading the options. And just look at the options for any higher price plays like that you've been interested in, but you don't have the account to take any positions. And then look at the options, and then consider that as well. And then look at the strategies you use for stocks. And usually you could also day trade. The same day trading strategies you use for stocks, you could find a way to use that for options as well. And I'm sure that you could make it happen if you have a strategy that's proven, that you've tracked, that's given you good results, and then you use that for options. I found that you could make it work, and that's what I want to talk about for this video. Let me know if you trade options and how your options trading is going. I'm very glad I took options. Like I regret not getting into options earlier, but I had to figure out the stock shit first and get my mind right. So anyways, take it easy. Be back soon.
I've been on the road with sitting sideways. Like when then we go, I'ma get in my way. Fuck it, I've been on, got no time to die today. I ain't go outside today, I ain't go outside for days. I've been smoking purple haze.